Welcome back, YouTube. Back at it with another push day, but yeah. I have not touched dumbbell press like that in a while. Someone was using the hundreds is where I was planning on doing my top set, they're using it. So I went for the 105s. Very grateful for this spot. But yeah, felt nice to actually do that. This week has been interesting. A lot of change. Like, I've had some things that have been going on in my mind about my work situation. Just some grievances about. And I got to voice them yesterday because I was working up a way to voice it, but the opportunity just kind of presented itself, and I just kind of spoke my mind. It was nice just for the sake of like a lot of people that on the personal training side of things have felt the same way that I felt. So we were able to bring those propositions and try and come up with some solutions to our managers, and they were super open about it. So that's been fantastic. That was super cool. But the really interesting thing that's been going on, it all comes down to what happened with my first coach that I used to have. Okay, so I feel like I should preface this as well. I don't hate people in this world. One of the things that I live by is I feel like life is too short to hold on to hate and to hate people. So I just kind of let bygones be bygones. Even if it's like something spiteful against me, it's just like whatever. It's under the bridge. I don't have to see you or deal with you anymore. There's only one person I hold that exception for, and that's my first coach. I would see him as just a truly evil person. The stuff that he did to me was horrendous. Like, I almost ended up in the hospital. I think I've talked about that before. If not, I'll present that probably later in this video whenever I'm not starting to buy gym music and all this other shit. But a lot of the stuff that he's been doing is finally coming to light. He's potentially getting kicked out of the gym that he operates out of, which is fucking insane. And he's losing another wave of clients. But if everything goes how I'm hoping it goes, he's gonna lose his business entirely, which that's just a moral victory for me. Like, I feel so good, because especially with everything that's resurfacing and happening now, like, I did initiate and I helped initiate some of the stuff that's going on, but to realize that it's like actually causing his downfall makes me so happy. But yeah, that's just some of the interesting stuff that's been happening this week. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the prime incline press now. In all reality, I should not have hit that weight, but it's in the rep range, so I'll take it. Rep range was 5 to 7. I got 5. I haven't touched 3 plates in a while, and honestly, with how stuff I've been doing this week, even though sleep hasn't been that great, I've only really been getting like 5 to 6 hours, and that's because of work. But strength has surprisingly still been going up this week, even though sleep has been less, food's still down. I'll probably do another full day of eating for 5 weeks out, but on my low day. I want to test and see that. I know I got spotted, or at least I had help with the lift off. Shoulders were a little shaky. It's probably not the cleanest reps, but the weight still moves, so I'm happy about it. Sometimes you just gotta hit what you want, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, one more back off set.
posing room, but someone was in the posing room. Then I tried going in the group exercise room to try and do it there. So I ended up going, posing outside. I swear to God, one of the fullest pumps I've had in forever, but also my skin looks ridiculously tight. Side note real quick, like I've been kind of freaking out as I've been sending my check-ins in, because like I finally hit an all-time low within this prep where I got like 195.6 or is 195.2, somewhere in there. And I was like sick holding that, held that for like a couple days. And then the next check-in that I had, I went up to like 196 point something. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just not like able to entirely empty myself out in the morning. And then the next check-in happened and I was higher. I got up to 197. And then 2 check-ins later, which is today, I was at 198.6. And I like texted my coach this morning. I was like, I swear I'm following plan. I'm doing everything you're telling me to do. I don't know why my weight's going up. I'm kind of freaking out. And he's like, dude, I don't understand why you're freaking out either. It just means we're growing a little bit. And I was just like, but that quickly? He's just like, it can happen. It might also just be the sake of like potentially not entirely emptying yourself out in the morning, but if it's going up, it's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as you're following plan, that's all that matters. And I was like, okay, cool. Going back to what I was trying to say. So like my old coach, my first coach that I had, whenever I finished my final set of shows last year, I ended up getting talked into doing 3. I knew there was no reason for me to do more than 1 show last year, especially for the sake of like how small I genuinely was. But I was like, I at least want to do the 1 show to see if I even enjoy prepping, if I enjoy stepping on stage, if this is something that I want to pursue. I did my first show, loved it. I could not get a pump worth of shit on stage, but I was lean, and I feel like I looked okay. Like, especially in comparison to the other guys that was up there. I think there were like 7 of us total in my open class, and then the other classes were pretty small. The open class C was the biggest. My first coach talked me into doing another show that was like, I think a month and a half later. So I had like a little bit of a refeed period, which didn't even really feel like a refeed period. He kind of just like bumped my calories up like a tiny bit for like half a week and then cut them right back down. And we went back into prep. I went into that second show as an all natural show with the OCB. And then like right before that show, he was just like, there's another show down in Alabama that same week or that next weekend. We might as well do that too. And he was trying to like pile on show after show after show. And I was just like, at this point, like I'm just going to become like as thin as a pencil. Like I was already pretty small as is. Like for that, I would say I was a skinny bitch. I had no size on me. I definitely didn't look like a bodybuilder other than the fact that I was lean and I was wearing the classic physique trunks. And even then at my third show, whenever I went into prejudging, the trunks that I was wearing, one of the commentators said that it looked like I had a diaper on, and I was just like, I'm never fucking wearing those again. And like I had another pair of like backup trunks just in case. So like literally for the night show, I wore my backup ones and they looked so much better. At the OCB show that I did, I was trying to go for my natural pro card. I ended up getting second place in the overall, but he went pro at that show and I did not. He had the size on me, he had the muscle maturity, literally everything. I came in a little fuller, was able to get a pump for that show. Fast forward a week, my coach disappeared. He was not responding to me after the OCB show. That Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I heard absolutely nothing from him. Wednesday, I get my peak week plan like halfway through Wednesday. And like even then I had already been like eating and stuff. Essentially what I did was just like put myself at the top of the peak week that we did for the OCB show again. So I was kind of already following it, but then whenever he gave me that one, it was like 0 carbs entirely. So I just kind of like switched over to that, switched over to completely depleting myself. And like the original peak week going into the OCB show, I barely had anything as is, but it was like a little more carbs at least at like the beginning of the week, and then the actual refeed started like halfway through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday was show day. So at least like I had carbs there. But for the one going into this next show, which was the Greater Tennessee Valley show that's down in Alabama, he had no carbs Wednesday, no carbs Thursday, no carbs Friday. And I was just like, okay. And the entire time as well, like the workouts made no sense. The cardio was still insane. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Like it was literally just the tiniest bit of greens and then the tiniest bit of meat with every single meal. So part of me in the back of my head was just thinking like, okay, maybe he sent me the wrong plan or he has something in mind, whatever. And up to this point, especially with like how stuff went at my first show, I'd already started to become more skeptical about like his coaching styles and stuff like that. I wanted to like understand bodybuilding as a whole from a coaching perspective, because like the more I was in it, the more I was just like, I would like to try coaching someday. This seems really cool. I like understanding how the body works, especially with like exercise, nutrition, sleep, PED usage, all this other stuff, getting it to grow, and then also getting it to lean down for a show stage. Like that, it's incredible. The science behind it was so fascinating. But also for the side of being an athlete, I was like, I want to be able to know what he is incorporating so I can kind of like fact check it to a point. I had heard about some things that had happened within the past about kids being sent to the hospital because he wasn't taking proper precautions, or girls just like passing out on stage and all this other shit that he made them do but for the most part, like, I hadn't talked to any of those people directly, so I wasn't 100% sure. Fast forward to my third show. Whenever it's like show day, pre-judging is getting ready, he's meeting up with all the athletes, he has us like take our shirts off and look at us. Whenever he sees me, he literally like flips shit, and he's just like, Parker, you look terrible, you have all this fat on you, you must have been binge eating X, Y, and Z, like disobeying plan, you didn't follow the peak week schedule. Like, why did you do this to yourself? You knew you had a show. And I was just like, I literally have done everything that you have sent me and done everything that you're telling me to do. This is just what I've looked like. And he's just like, okay, then whenever you go behind stage, don't carb up, don't eat anything. Just do a little bit of a pump up before you go up on stage. And I was like, okay, you're the coach, I'll do it. So that's what I did. I had like rice cakes, peanut butter, a little bit of candy, so like the normal stuff that you might have, I guess, for like carbing up in my bag, and I just kind of like sat there against the wall and didn't eat any of it. Go out on stage, I look like shit. Genuinely, for pre-judging, I look terrible. I walk off stage, I go up to my coach, ask him what he wants me to do, kind of hoping that he'll give me food, because at this point I'm starving. I hadn't eaten anything all morning. He didn't give me anything for breakfast before pre-judging, didn't give me anything behind stage to carb up, X, Y, whatever. And he's just like, I still don't want you to eat. I want you to go back to Sean and Kai's house. I want you to get on their treadmill for 45 minutes, do it on a high incline, do it on the fastest speed you can do for 45 minutes, and then I want you to take a nap, and then we're gonna come in for the night show. We should look tighter. We gotta get that water weight off of you. And I was like, okay, I'll go do it. I didn't do it. I ended up leaving the show venue. I went to Five Guys, got a double cheeseburger and a large fry, and I ate all of it. And I went back to Sean and Kai's house, and I took a nap. And when I tell you I woke up and I looked a million times better, it's insane. Especially, like, granted, did I look like a pro bodybuilder? No. But in comparison to what I looked for pre-judging, and then in comparison to the night show, it's a night and day difference, and it was insane. So it's just like, okay, this is like a very clear sign to me that my coach has no idea what the fuck he's doing. And it put me in that mode of like already kind of scrutinizing him and like second guessing some of the stuff he said, to fully switching me over to being like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. He's just stripping things away and hoping it works. He's telling people to take drugs and just hoping that the drugs do something. He has no idea what he's doing. So like after the show happens, he like disappears. We're supposed to like go out and celebrate for the people that competed and made it through the show, prep, whatever. He doesn't show up to the venues. He's gone, literally ghosts the entire team for like 2 weeks. I'm supposed to get like my rebound schedule to like try and figure out what I'm supposed to be eating so I don't like completely fuck up my reverse diet. I'm freaking out a little bit, so I'm just kind of like eating. I switched myself over to my 2 weeks out plan from the OCB show just to have something. So I was like, okay, at least I've got some carbs back in my system. I'm starting to feel a little bit normal. But like even then, it was only like 1,900 calories that I had. 2 weeks go by since that last show, and all I get is a text from him that just says, go to your 3 weeks out, or your 10 weeks out plan from the first show. So that jumps me from 1,900 calories to 3,500 calories. And I was like, okay, sick, more food. I'll do it. Granted, he also doesn't know that I even went to my 2 weeks out food meal plan, whatever. He didn't ask about that. He didn't ask about diet. The only text he sent was saying to just go to that 10 weeks out plan. 2 weeks after that, he sends me another email, sends me a plan, just says, here's your off-season diet. And I'm reading through it, looking through it, do the macro calculations, figure out how many calories it is. It's 7,250 calories. So he's jumping me from 3,500 to 7,200 calories. Reading through everything, it's 500 grams of protein. I'm still drinking 3 gallons of water a day, and my cardio is an hour and a half of interval sprints at the highest incline, running at the fastest speed for a minute, and then walking as fast as I can tolerate for another 5 minutes, and doing that for an hour and a half, rinse, repeat. So it's just like, fucking, okay, I'm excited about the food, but this is gonna also be hell. And it's like verbatim, it was like 6 meals. 3 of those meals were essentially just shakes, and then the other 3 meals were just chicken and rice at an absurd quantity. But I was like, okay, food, I'm excited about this, I'm gonna eat it. I was trusting it, even though I was I was skeptical about everything that was going on, but I was like, I'm gonna trust it. at least write it out a little bit. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna throw up a picture here, right here, of what I ended up looking like before I quit the team and before I heard the bad news. So this picture here was kind of to top off and figure out what was going on with my body, because I bloated up a lot. I got really fat. I shot up so quickly within like a 2-month period. I gained like almost 30, maybe 40 pounds. I was expecting water weight and stuff to come out, but like I put on so much fat within that time. I was so insecure. I lost my abs so quickly. Literally all the detail that I'd been able to show off was gone. Started feeling these weird like gas spikes in my stomach, like this painful swelling gas that would be in my chest. I would get this heartburn. It was uncomfortable. I would feel it whenever I'd like go squatting, wear my weightlifting belt. Just felt tired all the time. I was peeing all the time still, because like 3 gallons of water, that's a shit ton of water. No one should be drinking that amount of water. So like finally, with everything that was going on, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get my blood work done, because I also want to figure out where my T levels are at. I know competing at a natural level, my T levels are gonna plummet, but it takes a little bit of time for them to come back up. I'm curious where they've come back up to, so that's why I was getting it done. Plus I was feeling weird, so I was curious where my health markers were at. So I got that done. I knew it took about a week. I went to Relive, that's in Franklin. And then I went on vacation like a couple days later. That vacation, I went down to West Palm Beach, where the actual Revive gym is. And I got to work out there, work out at C-Bum's gym. I ran into C-Bum, got to talk to him, got to talk to Courtney. Phenomenal people. Absolutely love them. They inspire me. I mean, I do what I do because of the things that, the conversations I've had with Chris Bumstead. Even though very small, but even within the small conversations, they were very meaningful to me and they meant a lot to me. My second day while I was there at the Revive gym, I had like just paid for my day pass. I walked in, was getting warmed up on the treadmill to get a little bit of blood flow in, and I get a call. And I get a call from Relive Franklin. And typically they don't call. Typically, or at least like I had a scheduled appointment for whenever I got back from vacation to like go over my blood work and stuff. But they called and they sent an email at the same time of the call. Normally, if I'm asking for my blood work, I have to ask for it over the phone or in person, then they send it to me after I ask for it. I didn't ask for it this time. They just preemptively sent it to me, so I was like, that's a little odd, but okay. I answer the phone, put it up to my ear, and I'm just like, hello, this is Parker. And they're like, yeah, this is Relive. We just sent you your blood work. You need to take that blood work and go to a hospital and get checked out. And I was just like, excuse me? And they were like, yeah, every health marker that you have is in the red, like dangerously in the red. You need to go get checked out right now. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like right now? They were like, yes, right now it's bad. So I was like, okay. I ended up went to the closest hospital, essentially like told them what I was feeling, showed them everything that was going on. I had someone check out my gut, told them about my diet and stuff. And essentially what was going on, they found out, was from the amount of protein that I was ingesting and the amount of water that I was drinking, the water was flushing all nutrients out of my body other than the protein. The protein was so dense that it was essentially just like staying in my digestive tract and building up, which was causing like these ammonia spikes and ammonia gas creation in my body, which was the painful gas. And then it was causing enough like organ stress that it was causing my like liver and kidneys to essentially just give up. And I was like a day or two from complete renal failure. So I was like, oh shit, that was great. And they were just like, if you'd probably waited like a day longer, you probably would have ended up in the hospital and like you would have had taken an ambulance here. Thankfully, like you got here before that happened. And I was just like, yeah, I'm happy about that. What do I do? Essentially, they were just like, whatever you're doing right now in terms of diet, the best thing that we can think of to do right now in terms of assessment is just eat normal. And I was like, really? They were like, yeah, the absurd amount of calories that you're eating, the absurd amount of protein and stuff, like that'll take it a little bit of time to flush out of your system, but if you can cut back on that today, even just like stop eating the rest of today and let your digestive tract just rest, we'll keep an eye on it for like 3 or 4 days. If you progress and feel like you're getting worse, then come back in. If not, give us a call. and then we'll just like monitor from there. And I was like, okay. So I literally gave it a couple days. Within those couple days, I ended up flying out to Indianapolis because I was meeting with my brothers and some friends up in Indianapolis for drum corps finals. I was sore as fuck just for the sake of the workouts that I had while I was down there. Honestly, probably shouldn't have kept working out even after everything that happened, but I did. Just ate normal, didn't try to eat on meal plan, just kind of ate roughly around like 2,500 calories-ish, if I had to give or take, probably more at some points. But like the rest of the day that they told me not to eat, I didn't eat. And then the next day I didn't eat at all for like half the day. And I waited till the evening to eat. And I gave it a couple days and I just started feeling normal. So I was like, okay, in that case, from it starting to feel normal, I'm now no longer going to be with my coach. Because this now just shows to me that he has no idea what he's doing. So I went and talked to him whenever I got back home. And I was just like, for health reasons, I need to take a step away from the team and just get my health together. He then flips the fuck out on me and just blames the fact that he was just like, this is because someone told you I cheated on my wife. And I was just like, I mean, this is news to me, but if you cheated on your wife, I mean, yeah, that gives me another reason to leave, because I love your wife. Your wife's great. So we argued about that. He tried to get me kicked out of the gym, all this other shit. So I left. That's really all I got for our push day, chest day, and story time today. And I'll see you guys next week. Leave a like, comment. What should you comment? Comment your favorite type of peanut butter, because I'm a slut for peanut butter, and I'm looking for recommendations. Comment your favorite peanut butter, and then subscribe. If you enjoy following this journey, I enjoy having you here. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys either tomorrow or next week. Bye.